Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this very special 90-minute session, a very special event in Powur's history. We're excited to have all of you here. My name is Bobby Smith, Field President with Powur. It's good to see all of you. How you doing out there? Raise it up if you're good. Keep putting your cities and states in the chat box as we get ready to start. So this is a special presentation tonight. We're honored to have you here. We're very thankful for all of our leaders out there, all of the amazing people that are earning life-changing incomes. They've built extraordinary careers. They're passionate about what they're doing, building a better world for our children and our grandchildren. And we are excited to have all of you here tonight. So with that, the theme of tonight really is kind of how we got here, right? And the way we got here for our guests, the new people that are tuning in tonight, is really a lot of hard work. You know, over the last 7 to 8 years, many of us, we've just been working our asses off. We've been working around the clock to bring a very special experience, again, to homeowners and people that are seeking a special career in renewable energy. And we got there by innovation. We've invested millions of dollars in technology, much of it proprietary technology, again, to change an industry, the solar industry, that really has just not been working up till this point. And we sought out great talent. Again, there's some amazing people in our company that are changing the game in multiple languages, multiple cultures, men and women across the United States and around the world. And much of it's been about transparency as well. We tell the truth. You're going to hear from our CEO tonight. The good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it may be. It's a transparent model, a transparent revenue share model, and it's a transparent culture that we've built. And we just tell it like it is, and that has allowed us to build trust with over 7,000 representatives around the United States and around the globe. So as you look at our company tonight, again, we're glad you're here, but this has really been about record growth. Many of you have heard about our Inc. magazine announcement, but going from 7 years ago, when I first came out here, someone hit me up on Facebook, and to go to a broken down office with a crackly floor on top of a clothing store with a handful of people with a vision. And then if you look at this company today, doing $300 million in revenue, represented recently on Inc. magazine now as the 43rd fastest growing company in the United States of America. And if you think about that, if you put that in perspective, there's over 32 million companies in the United States of America, and we ended up 43rd, again, climbing up the Inc. 5000 list again. We're honored to be there, we're humbled to be there, and we couldn't have done it without you. So if you're a member of Powur, again, settle in for the next 90 minutes, grab a cold one, do whatever you do, and take in all the amazing information tonight. If you're that entrepreneur out there, we know that there's about 10 million people that have made a conscious decision since COVID that they don't want to go back to what they were doing. They don't want to do traffic. They don't want to do bosses they can't stand, uninspired colleagues, again, going to lunch quick and gobbling it down, to do traffic again, to kiss their kids to bed before they go to sleep and grabbing a couple minutes of family time. They decide that that's just not living. And in my own experience and around the world, our children need us more now than they've ever needed us before, and we need to have that valuable time back. So the entrepreneurs are joining us in record numbers. We're attracting hundreds of solar pros. This month alone, upwards to 1,200 people will make a decision to join our company. Many of them entrepreneurs like you, many of them solar pros that have learned that they were in a broken and outdated redline model, and they can earn 2 to 3 times the income and stock options for doing the same thing. And then there's all the people out there in parallel industries. They're already touching the homeowner. They're roofers and contractors and insurance agents, mortgage brokers, home security. They've got a client, they've earned their trust, and now they can bring them something else. And if you were going to bring them something else, just think about this as we start our evening. We know that solar and renewable energy is one of the fastest growing industries in the history of the world. We know that just last week our president signed a bill that has created a whole new future for solar and renewable energy. And if you understand the impact that the platform economy has had on all segments of our business and our life, if you just put those two things together, This new bill and the future of renewable energy, and Powur, the leader in a platform economy in renewable energy, that is your career path, and that is where you want to be. I have the honor tonight to bring on our Chief Marketing Officer, who again has been an addition to this company that has changed the course of our company, and we think of history. We know her as our great leader. You know her as a great mom and a great friend and a great person. I have the honor of bringing up our leader, Chief Marketing Officer, Cami Bummy.
All right. Hello, hello. How is everybody? How fun to look out there and see so many faces I have come to know, and to all of our guests, welcome. If you are thinking at all about being a part of the solar industry and being a part of what is happening right now, and you're wondering if this is the right time, I'm here to tell you the time is now. I had the opportunity of being a part of the solar industry many years ago, right in the beginning of what many people call the solar coaster. And I got to tell you, the landscape of what is in front of us right now, the opportunity that is in front of you as an entrepreneur right now is unheard of. It is unlike anything we have ever seen in this industry. So I just want to set the stage tonight a little bit of why we are in this perfect storm, of why right now could not be a better time. And it's really a combination of two things. It's a combination of market opportunity and global need. So what that really means is that we right now have massive momentum. And I'm going to talk about where some of that is coming from and just how big it is in this industry. Massive regulatory tailwinds, adoption, consumer demand, things that you point to and want and wish for as your North Star as an entrepreneur. And we also have a need in this industry that is greater and bigger than it has ever been, with a planet that needs us, with people who are impacted by the crisis of climate change. So those are just a couple of the things that I want to talk about. So first, let's look at the market opportunity that's in front of us. So you heard Bobby talk about this, and many of you are already aware. But just pop in the comments a little bit if you've heard anything, if you're excited about this new bill that got signed into law. How excited are you, and what big impact does this actually make for the world of solar? It is huge. How big is it? It's $369 billion huge. This bill, and I'm not going to read every one of these bullets, but take a screenshot, because this bill has done so much for those of us who have been pushing for and wanting and passionate about sustainable energy. This bill means we've got regulatory tailwinds, it's rebates, it's incentives, it's money going toward funding clean energy, it's money going to local governments, it's money going toward projects that are going to create sustainability. What this means is it's more consumer demand. It means it's more companies that are innovating, more companies that are saying, how can we create solutions that take advantage of this incredible new opportunity? So this was already a big opportunity, but it just got bigger. So here you're seeing top and bottom what the credit, the income tax credit, looked like before the IRA and what it looks like now. So when you're talking about a 30% tax credit for 10 years, the expansion, the extension that just gave our industry is so big that it's hard to quantify right now. What this really did is take an industry that was already incredible, and it just gave us this runway that is so much bigger and so much more powerful. This runway to help even more customers adopt clean, renewable energy on their rooftops and save money and make a difference in the planet. And so let's look at just how fast solar is growing. Over the last 10 years, it's grown 43%. You can see that in the chart there, this massive growth of solar. But even with that growth, and the very bottom rung on there is residential, even with that growth, let's look at what the opportunity still is. 130 million homes in the country that are eligible for solar. They're in the right markets, they have the right amount of sun. That's an estimate of how many homes are eligible. Of that, or how many homes there are total, 90 million homes are eligible. Only 3.5 million have gone solar. That's less than 4% of eligible homes. That opportunity is huge. That means there's 87 million eligible households. And it's rising and rising and rising even without the gift and the tailwinds we've just been given. In 2021 alone, somebody went solar every single minute. So think about this for a minute. Think about if you're an entrepreneur in any industry, in any product, in any venture that you want to pursue. And what is the best of both worlds? The best of both worlds is rapid adoption in a virtually untapped market. And that's what we have. When you look at the adoption curve for nearly any technology, for nearly any product, we are in the sweet spot. We are right there. We are right at a point where we're about 3% adoption, and we're getting to the early adopters, and this industry is just going to grow. And not only that, but we just were given massive tailwinds and a boost to do that. So that's the market opportunity side of this business. The other side is the need. And I would argue that never before has a product been needed so much by our society as solar is right now for our world and our planet. You just have to look at the news any day, and you see story after story after story. Floods and fires and droughts and indigenous communities being booted from their land and deforestation to curb our appetite for all the products that we have. So many impacts. Real life impacts on humans. So there's a day that we just passed about a month ago. It's called Earth Overshoot Day. It was on July 28th this year. So what that means, what Earth Overshoot Day means, is that in that first part of the year, just over half a year, that we consumed, as a global society, that we consumed more resources than we will produce in the entire year. So what that really means is that we are in debt. We are in debt and we are living on borrowed resources. And the impact of that hits island nations. It hits us at home. It hits us in extreme weather. It hits us in inequality of environmental practices and environmental justice. It hits us in so many ways. So this global need doesn't have to be our destiny. We can choose to turn that around. So these are 5 of the ways that experts say that we can turn that around, that we can move the date, that we can make a dent in our universe and in our planet. And the biggest one on here by far is energy. Thinking about the footprint, our ecological footprint of energy. If we could shift that, if we could change that by just 50%, we would actually move that date back a full 3 months. It is one of the most significant ways that we could make an impact in this global need that is growing and growing. So those 2 things get me so excited when I think about, as an entrepreneur, as somebody who wants to be a part of changing the world, of being a difference maker for what is one of the biggest challenges of our day, which is climate change, then I also want to find an industry that is growing fast enough and rapidly enough and with enough tailwinds that I can make a thriving business. It's solar. And the time is now to be in this industry. So then the question is just, well, how and with whom? And that's what we're here to tell you more about tonight. Why Powur is really responding to that market opportunity and this global need and showing up at the party in the biggest way possible. And it's through the Powur platform. So you're here tonight hearing about solar and our vision for how we're going to bring more solar to more people. And we install a lot of solar, more and more every single month. You saw that growth curve that Bobby showed you. Every single month we're breaking records. Like, breaking records is starting to get boring at Powur because we do it every month. Oh, that's a lie. It's not ever boring. We love it every single month. But the reason we're able to do that is because we take a platform approach. We say, how can we scale solar? How can we create a platform that actually can deliver solar to the masses? And that's what we're doing. So tonight you're going to go through and you're going to hear about 6 of the ways that we're really doing that as a company. How Powur is thinking differently about almost everything. We've been here together as an executive team the last couple of days just talking about how can we be different as a company? How can we do everything better? How can we do everything with a greater eye for bringing solar to more and more people? So there's really 6 pillars of how we're doing that you're going to hear about tonight. And these pillars really define a lot of what we do. They're the way that we're winning in this industry. They're the reason we believe that we've made it to this list 3 years running. It's our model, the way we're approaching this business that's so unique and that's really contributed to our growth. It's our innovation and what we're doing on this platform that makes the experience delightful for every single one of our users. It's our service and fulfillment and our operations and how we're actually bringing solar to the roof in a way that delights our customers and delivers happiness. And it's our impact, what we're doing in the world beyond installing solar, beyond empowering users on our platform. And it's our people, the people that are driving that, and the vision which you're going to hear at the end of tonight. And I got to tell you, it'll just give you chills. So the rest of this evening or afternoon, depending on where you are, is going to be all about these 6 pillars. And to start that, I have the pleasure to introduce somebody who's going to take you through the first of these 3 pillars. I have had the pleasure of meeting and getting to know this person, this professional, this gentleman through Powur, and I'm so proud to know him. He's one of the hardest working people I know, has such a blend of talent and skill, but chief among them is his servant leadership. So please join me in the chat with a warm welcome to Mr. Charles Thompson.
Thank you, Cammie. We are so blessed to have Cammie as our Chief Marketing Officer. It's been an amazing ride since she's been here. And really, I think you can all say how much this brand has absolutely stepped up. It's been absolutely fantastic. So, as Cammie mentioned, there are these different pillars that we have. And what I want to do is I want to talk first about the industry. And the industry is 65 years running, 65 years. And market adoption of only close to 4%, something's wrong. And what we know is wrong is it's the model. And the one that you're looking at the screen is called a red line. We're in a red line, which is what the industry's been built on. It's based upon the company making a fixed profit on every single deal. And there's absolutely no transparency in that model. In fact, the person who ends up taking the biggest haircut as a seller is the one who has to lower the price to get the deal, because the company's margin is fixed. And you don't even know what it is, by the way. There's absolutely no transparency. Versus Powur. Powur has a cost of goods model. The seller, that's you determine what that margin is on the project, and then Powur shares in the revenue. They don't set a base price. They give you the cost. You go sell it, and Powur shares in that revenue. I'll walk through how those numbers work here in a few minutes. That is absolute total transparency. I've been in the industry 12 years. I've been in every economic model in this industry. I've never seen a company do what Powur is doing for the solar industry. And there's some interesting news that you'll hear me talk about here in just a few minutes, something that no company has done. Now, the beauty of this model, as we're driving this model, is really creating a flywheel. So more and more sellers are starting to join the Powur platform. So the bigger the platform gets, the more seller, the more equipment we purchase, the lower that cost of goods goes. So step 1, keep growing. Step 2, your cost of goods is going to go lower, which means you're going to get either bigger commissions or lower prices or a combination of both. And you don't find that in the old, outdated redline model. That only exists in a model called COGS, which is created by Powur. So that's the beauty of this. The more we grow, the bigger benefit each of us as sellers on the platform are going to receive. Now, how does Powur actually make money then? If they're not marking up the equipment, they're not marking up anything, they're transparently passing the cost to you, how do they make money? Well, they only make a 15% margin. Remember, I said they share in the revenue. You make the lion's share of that revenue. You make 70% on your personal sale, 70%. And in your first few deals, if you're new to solar, 3 deals will be done with someone who's called a tier 3 seller. They'll be a sales partner. They'll help navigate you through everything that you need to know, set you up for success. You'll earn while you learn, and you'll get 50% commission on your first 3 sales. If you're experienced in solar, it's your first sale, just to set you up for success. Then after that, you go back to doing all your own sales at 70%. So that's income streams that you can look at from selling solar, but it doesn't stop there. You also have the benefit and opportunity to have revenue share. If you decide, there's no requirement to do this, but if you decide to build a team of any size, you get overrides on everybody who's in your organization down to 6 levels, anywhere from $150 to $550 per project. We have people that you'll hear about tonight who are making 6- and 7-figure passive income. This model is only 3 years old, and you can find that kind of success. But guess what? We're just getting started. So you're coming in after all the challenges that we had to face as individuals and as a company to scale at the level that we have to be able to achieve fastest growing companies 3 years consecutive. That's absolutely phenomenal. So you get to ride the coattails and then get accelerated even faster than that. Now, Powur introduced something just a few weeks ago called finance bonuses. It's a rebate. And I didn't know, and I've been in the industry for 12 years, I didn't know that bigger companies were actually getting rebates back from the lender because they hit volume targets. Well, when Powur started hitting those targets, being transparent, Powur now passes that on directly to the sellers. And on average, there's a $600 to $800 additional commission that's paid out on those projects, and that's paid out monthly. So your sales volumes, that's your active income, is paid out every single day. Your revenue share or passive income is paid out every single Friday, and then your monthly rebate money comes in on the 10th of each month. You get paid so many times for what you do, which is what's phenomenal about this. And then the long-term play is Powur believes in the relationship of us as owners in the company. And they offer us stock. They offer us options. We have the ability to purchase those options at the discounted rate that we were secured when Powur does go public. So you have the ability for exponential opportunity simply by working the model, and you'll learn more about that as you go through. So I think the key word here for everybody is transparency. There's no other solar company in the industry today that will share with you what we just spoke about tonight, and that is transparency, the cost of goods, and you get revenue share, and you get the ability to sell at whatever price is right for you and the homeowner, and transparently get access to those costs and share in the revenue. So that's number one. What I'd like to do here in a moment, we're going to talk about the innovation. Innovation is really critical, and we have evolved. So not only innovated, we have absolutely evolved as a company, and we are setting a new standard for sellers and solar, and this industry has changed in just the last 3 years particularly. And the gentleman that I'm going to bring to the stage here in a moment, I actually have known for quite a long time. He actually was involved in one of the very early stage offerings for financing that I was involved in when I got into the industry. He's a software and technology leader for over 30 years, and now he's a technology leader for Powur as our CTO. He actually became involved before becoming our CTO, came involved back in 2016. And just an incredible human being. He's doing amazing things for our technology. So help me welcome to the stage Mr. Dean Rosenberg. Dean. Got to do it. We got to do it.
Thanks, Charles.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here, Dean.
And thank you, everybody, for being here as well.
Yeah, what do you think how technology has evolved, Dean, in just the short time that you took over that responsibility? I personally say we couldn't be here at this level without everything that you've done. So we're grateful for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And what I'd like to ask you is, first of all, what really got you excited about Powur when you met Jonathan?
So what got me excited about Powur was Jonathan Budd. Like so many of you who got to meet Jonathan Budd, I saw a leader who saw a different way to do things, who wanted to make a dent in the universe, and who was going to take us down this journey to increase the proliferation of sustainable energy and move us forward. I'd been involved in the kind of the startup community. I've been involved with early stage companies like the solar company that you were talking about earlier. And I just saw a better way to do it. And it was a way that was built on innovation, and I'm an innovation guy. So I was super excited about that.
Well, speaking of innovation, where does innovation fit in your mind in the Powur business model?
Yeah, so I mean, we are innovating on the entire stack. So you all in this studio is part of our innovation. Our sales model is part of our innovation. And I see us as a technology company. So we have, many of you see Powur.com and logging on and doing your deals and such. Right. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. we are applying technology and innovation across the entire organization. So, how we do our automated payments, our commission payments, our M1s and M2s, how we pay our installers, how we look at what's going on in the thousands of deals we have currently underway, and applying machine learning and data science, and knowing which projects are likely to cancel that we need to tend to, which projects might have some other issue, what installers should we assign a project to ensure that the installer is the right fit for that right project. And I see us as a technology platform that's driving a solar innovation company.
And it certainly is, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, with that, what's coming next? Any sneak
Wow,
peeks for this
yeah.
group tonight?
Yeah, so for those who are at Power World, Cami gave a few sneak peeks. On the front end, we're doing some things on the CRM side, which our community has been asking for a long time. We're doing some things on what we call seller transparency. Right now, we share major milestones in a project. But what if all of our sellers knew every micro milestone in a project? So we'll be releasing something within a week or two where you'll know, the seller will know the disposition of the virtual site survey. So we've had some feedback from sellers that, well, we did the virtual site survey and then we don't know what happens. Was it accepted? Was it not accepted? If it wasn't accepted, why? And so starting in, certainly by the beginning of next month, they'll be able to actually see the virtual site survey was approved. We've moved right to your M1 and right to site survey, and we've accelerated that part of the project. Or this virtual site survey wasn't approved, and there was a reason. Maybe the roof was too old. Maybe there were missing photos, or that's what. We're trying to take all of the information our project management team has and push it out to the field so that everybody else can be more in the know. That's just one of many things. We're working on a project that's out of the brain of Jonathan Budd that will give some of our most productive sellers the ability to actually get a bigger M1 sometime in the very near future. So stay tuned for that. That's something we're working very closely on. And then there's just so many things in our technologies. At the end of the day, we are looking to build for scale. Those of you who have been with us for a while, you know that we've come a long way, but we still have a long way to go. And that's what's exciting. You'll hear from, I think Ethan's coming up and joining you shortly.
Yes.
You'll hear from Ethan. We are working day and night to grow this company in a responsible way to allow us to fulfill solar at scale so that our field won't have surprises, our homeowners won't have surprises, and everybody will have the best experience that we can give them.
Awesome. I'm watching some of the comments here.
Yeah.
Transparency and real-time data.
Yeah.
Awesomeness. That's I think the integration between Power OS and Power is a big step that I'm super excited
Yeah, and a lot of our friends in the field don't see the whole, they see the tip of the iceberg, right? They don't see the whole back end of how the project progresses after that. Yeah.
Well, again, Dean, thank you for all you do. You're an amazing
Right
team.
back at you, man.
And
Right back at
you're
you.
just the best.
Okay,
Thank you,
appreciate
sir.
it.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Well, what do you think? Let's throw some comments in there in the chat. CRM will save us money. That's one of those things that are coming. That's a very exciting time for us. Boom, great jobs. Good comments come to Digity Dean. I love it. I love it. Okay. Now, we've got a few more things to share with you here and another wonderful introduction. So we talked about the model, talked about innovation, and now really service is where it really has to step up. And you're going to get the opportunity to meet this incredible gentleman who's managed over 1 million homeowners going solar, 2 decades in the industry. I've followed him for one of those decades since I've been in the industry, and actually was a elite dealer in one of those industries. And an executive that really has the highest level of market share for growth companies. And that's what brought Ethan to this company, and we're grateful to have him. He's taking our operations to this whole new level. So please help me welcome Mr. Ethan Miller to the stage. Ethan? We'll do that hug. Thank you, Ethan.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Oh, we're honored to have you here. Thank you so much for all you've done for the industry, and now specifically what you're doing here at Powur. So
Absolutely.
honored to have you. So we've got a different model than what you've worked in your other companies.
Yeah, it's what attracted me to join Powur. I've been in traditional models for years and years and years, as you mentioned, and those models, I just saw caps on them, ceilings. We weren't going to bust through, and the model here at Powur really something that got me excited. It was something that could scale, and I think that shows. That's why we're here talking today. Yeah, and that's there's a bunch of core things to that.
Is that scalability because of the relationships that we're building with local installers?
Yeah, there's just a smarter and better way, I think. Using and leveraging, partnering is probably the right word, with these local installers is something I believe has far more strength. Think about a crew from maybe another solar company. Their boss might be thousands of miles away. They might have been parachuted into that market, not know a whole lot about what's going on, the intricacies of that market. When you work with a local installer, they've got pride. They're in the community. Their kids go to play soccer with your kids. Things like that. They have reputation to maintain. They really are going to do the best for you. And I think our job is to enable them and allow that success to shine through.
Great, great. And I love that model. I believe we're driving the local economy too, as opposed to just sending money back to one main place, right? I love that. And with that, how will we actually feel comfortable from a seller's perspective that there'll be a consistent experience for the homeowners?
Yeah, and that's the biggest challenge, right? That's the thing we've got to overcome and build on. And that, when I started with Powur, that's the vision. That was what I saw, that we could really connect the dots and do something unique here. And that is that combination of bringing certain things in-house, which we're just building, right? We just started that at the beginning of the year. You heard about that a bit at Powur World. Being able to deliver permitting, interconnection, design, some of these core services in-house with great complementary support to that local installer, allowing them to do what they're good at and allowing us to do what we're good at, I think is key to success.
Yeah, just to speak to that, I had my own company, and that was our own backlogs. We really weren't good at certain things. We were great at putting glass on the roof, great at selling, but interconnection, permitting, all the things that you had to have staff, and now Powur has taken that responsibility to remove those backlogs.
Yeah, and it's tough work to do it consistently at scale. And not many companies get there. A lot of companies can have that one designer in the back office, but to do it thousands and thousands of times over, it takes some infrastructure.
Yeah. And you've been here now about a year, right?
Not yet, but yeah,
feels
coming
feels
up.
like it.
It feels like 10 years, right? But no, it's moving fast.
Moving fast.
And it is a different company than I started already.
Right.
So that's
Well,
exciting to see.
And a lot of that with gratitude to you, sir. So with that, now having been here, you've seen it, what do you think is the biggest opportunity that's ahead for us?
Yeah, well, two big, I think about those next ceilings we got to bust through, two big ones. One is communication, right? I hear it from our homeowners, I hear it from our sellers. We need to get world-class at communication. That is structured communication, transparent communication, understanding where every milestone's at. Some of it's system-based communication, that project transparency I think I heard Dean talking about. That we're investing heavily in. It's going to take some time when you're totally trying to gut and replace and build new systems. It's a pretty big transformation. So we're trying to get all this done this year, though, so that the sky's the limit as we, of course, head into 2023. That's the big one. And then system-based activity management. And also, that's what heavy technology need. There should be no surprises. We've got so much data. We know all this information. We should know how long a permit takes to get issued. We should know all of these things. Right. And we need those triggers, that transparency, all the time, every time. And we need the systems to do it for us, right?
That's fantastic.
It's not rocket science. It just takes some time to build.
Right, right. Yeah, and I had the honor of being in the room with you, and communications was one of the biggest topics that we had covered today.
Yeah, so. Incredibly passionate about that. If anything, my reputation, our reputation is built on the homeowners and the pride that we have in every single installation going well, right, and achieving those referrals. And that's, if anything's going to keep me up at night, that's it.
That's great. Well, we know we're in the right hands, and we're really truly honored to have you as our COO and blessed. So thank you.
Appreciate the trust, everybody, and hey, we're going to keep getting better to the stars, right? Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Ethan. Put your hands together for Ethan, please. That's I love all the comments coming in. He's Superman. Yeah, there's actually been some that think that Ethan and I look alike. I was once called Doogie Howser. I think Ethan was as well. So, you know, something happens. Amazing human and has done such incredible things for this company. We're grateful for him. And as I mentioned, I had the opportunity to sit in our executive mastermind today, and that was the biggest topic in communications. And the company is 100% focused on transparency, being able to make that happen. So the next section we're going to have here, we're going to talk about impact. And we are making a lot of impact, but there's no better person to really walk you through what we're doing as a company of impact than to bring back up our CMO, Cami Baby. One more time.
All right, thank you. All right, you guys get me one more time. This is probably one of my favorite things to talk about, is just the impact that we're making. You know, as a company scales, as a company grows, there's a lot of different things that can be in the DNA of that company, in the heart of that company. And I know that saying the heart of a company might not resonate, but I've often felt that everything I learned in my MBA classes was wrong. Because in an MBA class, the thing they teach you the most is maximize shareholder value. And frankly, that never resonated with me. Frankly, I always felt like that should not be the sole purpose of business. Because businesses have become one of the biggest influencers in our society. One of the most significant and impactful groups of people and organizations and systems that can influence our society. It's business. And so businesses have to become thoughtful, have to become mindful, have to become aware of the impact that we're making, especially as we scale. So when I joined Powur about not quite a year ago, that was one of the big things that I had to test. And many of you are on this tonight or watching the recording, and you're trying to decide whether you want to join Powur, and maybe that matters for you too. Maybe that's a checkbox that you have to click. Does this business exist for more than maximizing shareholder value? And Powur absolutely does. So we're two things. We're a certified B Corp and we're a public benefit corporation. You'll hear those two things sometimes used interchangeably, but they're different. A public benefit corporation means our actual structure, our actual legal structure is PBC, means that we exist to create public benefit. Certified B Corp means that we have passed a series of questions and certifications and criteria on a scale that's satisfactory to be a B Corp. And it's rigorous. And it means that we look at our stakeholders holistically. It means that we think about transparency to our employees, that we think about using local businesses as much as we can, that we think about how we're presenting ourselves to the world, that we think about our impact in the environment. So those two things alone, if you're looking for a company, speak volumes. You can use that QR code here on that slide to go see our impact report where we talk about all of these things. We have partnerships with Ecology and Pachamama Alliance. Through those two things, we're doing such amazing things. We're actually offsetting the impact of our manufacturing and our employees through Ecology, through incredible reforestation projects all around the world. We're partnering with Pachamama Alliance through every installation is supporting indigenous people in the Amazon. So these are things that we do as part of our day-to-day, as part of who we are as corporate citizens, knowing that we care about people, planet, and profit, knowing that we want to make a difference in the world. But we didn't want to just stop there. We said, well, how can we make the biggest impact? And part of that is through service. Part of that is through giving our sellers, our employees, our stakeholders a chance to experience the incredible joy and fulfillment of volunteerism. So we recently, earlier this year, we took a trip to Mexico on what we called our impact journey. And the impact journey, it literally gives me chills. As I talk about it, I can feel the sun there that day. I can see the smiles on the faces of all the people. So this was a journey where we went down to an area in partnership with Prosperity Homes, an incredible organization. We went down to an area outside of Ensenada, and we built a home from scratch over the course of 3 days. When we got there, it was a slab. When we were done, it was a complete home fully equipped with solar for this family. You can see the family in this picture here, just an absolutely beautiful family who now has the ability to thrive, who now has the ability not just to survive, but to provide a life of fulfillment to their child, to continue to grow and be prosperous members of the community. These kinds of projects make a difference that ripples. Makes a difference for the people who receive the home, of course, but it makes a difference for every single person who went and for all the people that continue to hear the stories. And these are the kinds of projects you can be a part of with Powur. We want to take people on these. In fact, we have a contest happening right now where the top 20 can make it on our next impact journey, can go and work hard and play hard side by side with colleagues who are united in this mission to make a dent in our universe, and go and serve and go and be a part of a business that is making an impact. So that pillar for us is really meaningful. It is a part of our DNA, and it is not just a poster on a wall. It is the way we act. It is the way we functionally put ourselves out and show up in the world to make a difference and give people an opportunity to create an impact. So I could talk about this forever, but I will move to our next pillar, which is really exciting. Our next pillar is ultimately about people. And people are what form any business. When you think about it at the end of the day, when you think about a brand and what differentiates a company, so many things are the same. So many things are the same. Is Coke and Pepsi really that different? Are two vehicle manufacturers really that different? Are two hotels really that different? They're not, but the difference between the ones who really achieve great heights, who do things that are innovative and impactful and long-lasting and sustainable, the difference is the people. And that starts at the very top. So I am absolutely honored that I get to be the one to bring on the individual that is the reason that we are all here. So I met him several years ago, and we talked quite a bit back and forth, and we always knew we'd work together in some capacity. And now I have the fortunate opportunity to work with him, but he is our founder and our CEO, and his vision is mighty. You'll hear about that tonight. But it's not just his vision. It's his work ethic. It's his dedication. It's the way he rolls up his sleeves and works, and he's in every detail of the business in the most productive and helpful ways possible. It's his leadership, and it's his passion. So please join me with all kinds of warm welcomes in the chat in welcoming our CEO and founder, Jonathan Budd. Woo!
Yeah, Cammie.
Yeah.
It sure is all about people.
It is.
Are you staying up here?
I don't know. Should I stay
think
up here?
so. I think
should
you
stay, up here. How fun.
Good evening, everyone. So wonderful to be with you all tonight. What a special, amazing event inspired by our fearless leader here, Cammie.
Well,
Thank
we have
you
to
so
celebrate 43, 3 years in a row,
She was
baby.
not going to let us all get away with not celebrating.
Yeah.
But like Cammie said, I don't think there's anything more important than people when it comes to making a business become all that it can be and impacting the world. So what I'd like to do right now, guys, is have all of you give a huge round of applause to bring up the entire Powur leadership team who is convening right now for our 2022 Powur Leadership Summit. If we could have everybody come to the stage, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Give it up for this team, ladies and gentlemen. You are all witnessing legends right now, okay? This is the stuff they will write tales about. They will sing songs. Songs will be passed down generation after generation after generation about the work that these human beings did right here. Now, take a beautiful look at this, because there's really so many other people inside the company that could honestly be on this stage. But we had a limitation on how many people could fit in our Tuscan villa this weekend. So I had to make a call, and it was 17. So we brought the top 17 directors, vice presidents, and executives in the company who are responsible truly at the highest level of managing everything that happens inside this organization every day, to the Powur 2022 Leadership Summit. We don't have enough time for me to introduce each of them, so I'm going to introduce each of them anyway. But Not in the way you think. I'm going to tell a story. And this will give you an idea of who these people are and who this team is, and ultimately who I want us all to be. Because the vision is that we become the world champions, the very best community of human beings on the planet at scaling clean energy, selling and fulfilling clean energy projects. So tomorrow morning, every single one of these individuals, everyone, is waking up at 3:30 a.m., probably earlier. They are driving to this office to meet us at 4 a.m., and we are taking 2 vans to a mountain. It's not the biggest mountain in the world, but if you're not used to climbing, it's pretty damn big. It's Mount Palomar. It is about 6,700 feet elevation. We have 3,600 feet of elevation to climb over a 14-mile round-trip hike. And when I sent this email out to everybody and said, hey guys, just FYI, the Powur Leadership Summit this year is going to be a little different. You better start hiking your ass off. Many of them thought that I was crazy. Is this true? Yeah. What else? What did you say about me that I don't even know you said about me? But, you know, here's the bottom line. Here's where we ended up. As of right now, every one of them has voluntarily chosen to sign their life over on a waiver. So that means that they're crazy enough to go try to pull this off. And it's a pretty big deal. So that, it could be a good thing, could be a bad thing for who's running this company. But I want to tell you guys right now, that attitude, that mindset of, man, we are getting to the top of the mountain and we are going to figure this out and do whatever it takes. That really is at the heart of this organization, at the heart of each and every one of these leaders. And it's one of the reasons why I respect them so much and why we are crushing the game right now, having record-breaking growth, and I truly believe this is just the beginning. So you are all in the right hands with this amazing group right here, the Powur Leadership Team, and I think it's only going to get bigger and bigger from here. So give it up for the warriors and the leaders who make this possible for all of us every day. Ow! Any final words, guys? Any final words for tomorrow? All right, wish them luck, everybody. We got a big hike in front of us tomorrow. Thank you guys so much. And now I'd like for you to hear from the other side of the amazing people that comprise this community and make the Powur platform possible every day. If we could roll video.
Hi, my name is Jim Bunch, and I have the distinct honor of introducing you to some of our top sellers who, just like you, not long ago, were asking, what can I do to be a part of this game-changing industry called clean energy? Every single day, we meet amazing people like you who are raising their hand and saying, I want to be a part of the most amazing transformation to clean energy ever. You know, you see electric vehicles, you see solar, you see all these innovations and technologies that are coming along. Well, now with the Powur platform, you have the opportunity to join thousands of people just like you who have raised their hand and said, I want to be a part of that and I want to earn life-changing income. So for me personally, it has been a passion project. It is something that every single day we wake up and we're inspired to do because we meet more and more people just like you and the people you're just about to hear from who are answering these same questions about what is it that sets Powur apart from the competition and how has it impacted your life. So enjoy the videos.
Powur has set themselves apart from the competition from the very beginning because they did something that no company has ever done. They asked their stakeholders, what has not worked in the past? What can we do to help improve your experience with the homeowner and helping the homeowner go solar? Powur has given me the platform to help other businesses develop their solar division while truly living a life by design. Like right now, I'm on this beautiful lake with my family, but still getting to help other homeowners go solar and help businesses. It is all about living a life by design.
Saludos, mi nombre es William Contreras, desde aquí en mi casa en Texas. Powur también ha cambiado mi vida por completo porque me ha permitido comprar mi casa, viajar, cambiar mi vida completamente a un giro de un 180 grados, dándole la libertad de poder hacer lo que yo quiero, cuando quiero y como quiero.
Larry McKinney coming at you. Been on the Powur platform for 6 years now. One of the most amazing things is Powur is constantly innovating, making it better, coming up with better systems, and also making it better for us consultants. One of the things that's really changed in my life since joining Powur is the fact that my wife and I, Jody, have been able to live anywhere we want. We live currently in Mexico, and we travel around Baja, and I've always said as long as you have an internet connection and a phone, you're in a great position to do Powur.
Yo soy María Salazar. Hace 3 años tuve la oportunidad de pertenecer a esta gran empresa. Me di cuenta de sus valores y principios y poco a poco fui descubriendo más cosas de cómo Powur se preocupa por sus vendedores. Powur ha cambiado mi vida de una manera increíble y quiero que me sigas, que te quiero compartir algunos de mis logros. Como les compartía, este es uno de mis logros, la casa de mis sueños. Antes de iniciar a Powur, yo rentaba en un apartamento. Ahora, gracias a la oportunidad de Powur, puedo tener mi casa. Y no solo eso, tenía una meta de tener mi Mercedes-Benz y hace 2 semanas tuve la oportunidad de ir a la agencia y decir, aquí está el efectivo, quiero este carro. Y todo ha sido gracias a la oportunidad Powur.
Bueno, mi nombre es José Domínguez, estoy con mi familia, mi esposa Ibelín, Yariel, Jaden y José Omar, hijo mayor. Y quiero contarle un poquito de mí, de mi historia, de cómo nosotros llegamos acá. Debido al huracán María habíamos perdido todo cuando llegamos acá. Empecé a trabajar en lo que es Uber, haciendo Uber y delivery de un restaurante chino. Empezamos a trabajar en una compañía que vimos la oportunidad de lo que es solar, pero fue la compañía que no era el vehículo correcto. Y luego descubrimos a Powur. Powur ha hecho un cambio en nosotros. Nos movimos a una casa, comprar el vehículo que quería, un Tesla, la camioneta para mi esposa. Y actualmente pudimos lograr nuestra primera compra de una casa en la zona donde queríamos, una de las zonas más exclusivas de aquí de Florida. Y estamos viviendo una vida la cual nos permite soñar, nos permite poder conseguir más oportunidades. Y te exhorto a que mires esta oportunidad y la trabajes.
Hello, my name is Andrew Smith. I've been very fortunate to have been part of Powur since its very beginning, so somewhere over 7 years. What Powur has meant for me personally is to be able to create incredible financial abundance that I hadn't dreamed of, frankly. But above and beyond that, it gives me location freedom and time freedom. And 2 examples of that is I was able to take my family to live in the Galapagos Islands in Ecuador for 3 months a couple of years ago. And then this year we've just come back from about 2.5 months in the United Kingdom, where I didn't miss a beat with my business.
Hola, mi nombre es Julio Rivera. En el 2019, cuando Powur llega a mi vida, yo estaba pasando por una transición en la cual había acabado con todos mis recursos económicos en la Florida y mi única opción que me quedaba era regresarme a Puerto Rico. Gracias a Powur, no tan solo no tuve que regresarme a Puerto Rico, sino que pude desarrollarme y tener un estilo de vida completamente distinto gracias a la oportunidad. Pero también Powur te ofrece a ti, todo consultor que está viendo esto en este momento, la oportunidad que ninguna otra compañía te ofrece de poder, ¿verdad?, capitalizar en los 22 estados que nos encontramos, ofreciendo los mejores precios, las mejores garantías, mejores intereses, todas las opciones para que usted pueda capitalizar esta gran oportunidad.
Wow. Every single one of those human beings is so special to us and has made such an impact on this platform and on this company we're building. We could literally have a video that was probably 24 hours long with your stories right now of the countless examples of impact and income that all of you in our community are creating on a daily basis. But I've got 2 more for you that I want you to hear from. If you could all do a huge round of applause to help me bring Mr. Jonathan Bernasso to the stage. Mr. Bernasso is currently kicking some ass in our Summer of Power Championship. He is in first place in the contest, just an absolutely amazing human being who has changed so many people's lives, helped bring them into this industry, mentor them in the solar industry, guide people towards successful solar careers. Mr. Bernasso, I'd love to hear from you. What do you have to share with everybody who's watching tonight about how this industry and this platform has changed your life or maybe could change theirs?
Absolutely. Thank you, JB. Appreciate that. Thank you for all the comments. Appreciate you all the leaders out there. Jordan Shaw, I know you're in second place on my tail. Joel Gossett, the race is heating up. Like, I can't take the gas pedal off. I have managed to do 22 deals this month, and I'm shooting for 30. So I'm freaking excited, guys. And just to share a little bit, what Powur has done for me, I mean, I just quit my prior company, Sunrun, in May of 2020. And I want you all to type in the chat, when do you think Sunrun was founded? What year do you think they were founded? Because my theme that I want to get to here is not giving up, right? 2008, yeah, it was actually 2007. So that was quite some time ago. And who knows when SunPower was founded? What year was SunPower founded? I know this because there's a year that I was born, 1985. What I want to impress upon you is that this model of selling as the general contractor, but 2020? January of 2020, guys, in one state, we were the general contractor. Let that sink in for a second. And when you think about the climate bill that was just passed, the extension of the tax credit, electric vehicles, and the percentage of electric vehicles that are coming on right now, the time is now. The time is exciting. And, you know, I was in a pizza parlor 2 to 3 years ago for my first lunch and learn business opportunity with 4 other people. A realtor, a colleague, an old coworker, and a few friends, and that was my life 2 to 3 years ago. So I would encourage you, don't give up. Start from somewhere. Start small. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Get with a few friends. We have the best culture here. We have the best diversity. We have the best women. We have the best company. We're only getting started, right? 2020. So don't give up. Challenges are aplenty in solar. We all know that, especially with this hyper growth that we're experiencing. Just don't give up. Always communicate with your clients. And I just think that you too will find the freedom that's available here. You know, for what it's allowed me to do, we've been building homes in Mexico, donating the solar panels, giving back. I get to lead with philanthropy. And I get to help other leaders out there and see other families and lives change and homes being purchased. And that, in my opinion, is the most fulfilling reward here. I get to live in Vegas part-time, California part-time, get to travel, hang out with friends, family. I work with my identical twin brother now. So you can make whatever you want to make with this platform. Start somewhere. Start small if you have to. And don't give up. The challenges will come. The greater the reward and the greater the prize, the more challenges and obstacles that will come in your way. So, man, all that's been accomplished in 2 to 3 years, the Inc. rating over 3 years ago, I mean, it's really amazing what you've accomplished. Shout out to Jonathan Budd. Shout out to Charles Thompson, Bobby Smith back there. Love you all. Thank you so much.
You are hearing it from somebody who has climbed to the top of the solar mountain and does not speak lies.
Let's go.
So, never give up, baby. Thank you, Mr. Bernasso. We'll see you at the top, brother. We've got another amazing entrepreneur out there, Mr. Edgardo Gonzalez. Do I have you with me? What is up, brother Edgardo?
With this great event.
How you feeling right now, buddy?
What do you think, my friend, partner? with all these people. I've seen so many happy people after all these years. Remember 6 years ago how we started? I mean, and look all the way look what we got.
Over 1,000 people live right now, over 7,000 active Powur sales professionals on the platform, 150 enterprises already. The enterprise program is growing like crazy. And as we all know, it's just getting started. So, Mr. Edgardo, what do you want to share with us tonight, my friend? How has this platform changed your life? What's your vision for everybody?
Oh my God, it has changed, my life. I've been an entrepreneur most of my life, but when I started here, of course, it was, how is it was a long time ago, 6 years ago. Thanks to you, thanks to Larry McKinney, my sponsor, Charles Thompson, Bobby Smith, and all this excellent group here. We started working since the early beginnings, have seen an enormous growth, not only personally, but also financially. It has changed my life and the life. But you know what? The most rewarding, Jonathan, is how many people in my team are achieving success. I can see people, even not from 3 years, but even people that started 6 months ago, what they're doing for their lives and for their families. And I just came from a vacation for 30 days in Puerto Rico. Since the pandemic, I couldn't go there and see my mom. I was there. And then what happened, that we're just launching there. We're starting, and what I see that's going to happen is huge. When I started here in Texas, as you know, there was basically no one. We were a little company. We were not a general contractor. Look, we're number one in Texas, isn't it? Powur is number one here in Texas. So what do you think about that? Florida, there was basically no one there. And what a huge team we have there. So anyone that is looking at this, just don't think about it. If you're ready for a change in your life, Powur is the place to be. This is an invitation to work, but anyway, you got to work anywhere. So if you keep doing what you're doing for the last 5 years, you're going to get the same results. And what I've seen in Powur is a lot of success for many people. And it's changing by the day. Look about the income. Look about the fifth way of making money now. Basically, we're going to get paid for something that we've been doing already. So this is amazing how many people are going to thrive. We're writing history here in Powur, and I'm so glad to be working for so many people and many new people that are getting in as we speak. So, and I'm so happy to have you here. And thanks to you and the team, all the new people that are coming in, Cami and all of them, they're doing, how incredible is the growth that we're having? Thanks to you for starting this great company.
Man, I see the you're exuding the happiness, Edgardo. And I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you, man. I appreciate all the years that you've shown up as a leader and the countless thousands of people that you've personally spent time with, educating, teaching, mentoring, coaching, to really create one of the largest solar sales organizations in America today. And you've just done a phenomenal job. I'm really proud of you. And I think we're just getting started, buddy. I'll see you at the top of the mountain. We got bigger mountain peaks to climb. We got bigger mountain peaks to climb, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much, truly, to all the people who make Powur possible. We are nothing without you. And I've always said this to everyone, that a company is nothing more than the people who make the company up. It's people and their ideas and their ability to build those ideas. That's it. So if you focus on being the best person you can be and attracting the best people you can possibly attract, well, then you're probably going to have the best company you can possibly have. And it's just that simple. So I really feel like we've nailed it in a big way here at attracting great people. I hope that you attract more great people, and great people tend to attract other great people. So if we keep doing this, we're on to something really special. And as we shift here out of the people section and into the vision section, I want to talk to you guys about, the sort of peak we're at today. And, there's no question that in the last few years, we've gotten to some type of new vantage point, some type of new view as a company. Some of the accolades have been shared tonight. Inc. number 43, 300 plus million in revenue this year, fastest growing national solar company, blah, 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 in my opinion. All of that, honestly, is a little bit like the mountain I feel like we're going to climb tomorrow. And please, I don't want this to sound like I am downplaying the amazing and extraordinary effort that it has taken to be here, because it has taken so much effort by so many people to be exactly where we are today, myself included. I have worked my freaking ass off for 8 years straight, relentlessly, and it's been really hard, and we've gotten here. But I really want to impress upon you that where we are today is like a small to medium-sized mountain, and we climbed up it, and we have this beautiful view, but off in the distance are the real mountains. Off in the distance is the 14,000, 16,000, 24,000 foot view, and we're on like the 6,000 foot view. So the reason why I say that is really it's these next few slides. I need every single person on this call tonight to 100% get in your body and understand that where we are today is not crap to where we could be 2 to 5 years from now. Just 2 to 5. Never mind 10. Never mind 10. We are in front of a unbelievable tidal wave of technological and societal change unlike any I've lived through in my life. How we power the world is going to freaking change in the next 10 years, like materially and completely change. The largest industry in the world is going to completely freaking change in the next 10 years. This is not going to last forever. There's a timeline on this. And it's like the next 2 decades. The next 2 decades are going to be the most transformational decades that we've had and will have in energy maybe for the next century. Who knows? Technology could innovate fast. But certainly the most transformational we've had since we invented oil and gas-powered cars or started utilizing oil in the mid 1800s and cars late 1800s, early 1900s. It's been 122 years, really, since the fundamental underlying technology of burning fossil fuels has changed. And that is all changing now. And there is a whole new paradigm that's coming. And it is only going to accelerate. So if you just do some basic research on where the world is at today, the future is going to be electric. The future is undoubtedly, absolutely going to be electric. How many of us are familiar with the Inflation Reduction Act that just passed? Raise your hand. Most of us probably on this call have heard about it in some way, aware of it, blah, 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 whatever. That really could have been called the Electrify America Act. Inside that act, and by the way, mind you, the world was already going in this direction. We've all seen the freaking trends, right? We've seen Tesla. We've seen what's happening in residential solar. We've seen energy storage. The world is already going in this direction. The question is, how fast are we going to go in this direction? And really, I mean, I could go off on, I could talk a lot about the importance of developing really smart incentives and policy to spur industries. And that's been done really effectively throughout time. Many of the industries that we appreciate today, like telecom and communications and the internet, was all a nexus of government policy and business kind of merging together. And so you can't discard the fact that policy and governance is a big part of shaping the future. And, what we got right with the Electrify America Act is going to be absolutely freaking massive for the United States economy. And when you really dive into the structure of the incentives that they used, these incentives, the economists that analyze this data, it's hard pressed to find an incentive that's going to net you 3 to 4 times more than you pay out. I really need you to understand how this works. Solar tax incentives is revenue that the IRS is deferring, right? So the IRS could have taken this revenue, but instead of taking this revenue, we're gonna not take it, and we're gonna give that back to you, a solar customer, as a 30% tax credit. Great. That's meant to boost and boom industry. It's a policy lever you can say, we want to drive industry with. Now what happens? So because we're going to defer tax revenue and pump that money back into the economy, here's what happens. Solar companies, which have enormous amounts of employees, Powur's hiring like 30 people a month right now, and that's not even our install network. You take that out to our subcontract network, our labor network, our supply chain network, our manufacturing network. Are you shitting me? There's probably 10,000 jobs that literally just touch the projects we're installing today, literally. And every single one of those people has a salary and pays taxes. And all those companies pay taxes. So when you look at the net gain from really smart policy, that's why when the economists looked at this bill, they were like, holy shit, this is a no-brainer. Every dollar of deferred tax revenue we invest comes back as 3 to 4 times that amount from the hundreds of billions of dollars of revenue that these industries are going to generate that are going to pay taxes on and keep the economy booming. So, I probably did that, the wealth or the employee, the job creation slide a little bit too soon, but this all ties together. So, because of this act, what you're seeing on these two graphs is the difference between the previous projections for the adoption of residential solar or the adoption of solar energy in America and the new possible projections because of the decade plus of incentives that were just passed in the Electrify America Act. And I want you guys to truly wrap your head around this. Now, these are projections. These are forecasts. We don't really know where the numbers are going to come in, right? But somewhere originally, some of the organizations that try to figure this out, like Wood Mackenzie and some of the big research firms, had pegged that by 2030, they thought 13 to 15% of America would have adopted solar. So we're talking a national adoption rate of somewhere between 13 to 15% by 2030. So let me do some quick math on that, right? Let's say there's 90 million available customers, which is pretty much an agreeable amount. There's 90 million homes in America that really qualify for our product. So let's say 15% of those homes have adopted solar by 2030. That's 13.5 million homes. We're at around 3.5 today, so we're going to add about another 10 million homes, right? 10 million customers are going to go solar between right now and 2030. Those were the old projections, okay? Let's look at the new projections. The new projections and the new target really, the research hasn't fully come back in on this. So I'm just getting hearsay right now. I've been going through a process lately where, the company is really working on a big strategic plan. I've been talking with some of the large consulting firms. We've been talking about this, sharing information, blah, blah, blah. I've been asking them their opinion. And they're saying that some of the early data suggesting and their insights are suggesting that they think the U.S. market could now hit 30% adoption because of the incentives that were essentially passed in this act. So what does that mean if we were to jump from 15% adoption by 2030 to 30%? And what it means is an additional 13.5 million customers. We're now talking about 23.5 million homes going solar in the next freaking 7.5 years or whatever it is. 23.5 million! Do you know, I mean, you guys know what, like, you know how much revenue that is, right? Like, you know what the commission impact, like, if somebody signs like 5 projects a month, they are fucking golden. You know what I mean? You are like, you're living a great life. 5 projects a month. And there's 23.5 million customers coming in the next 7.5 freaking years to this industry. This is going to be one of the most insanely hot markets in businesses and industries to be in the freaking world. And every one of those customers will have a 30% tax credit. 30 freaking percent. And that's actually just the minimum. You know, there's huge investments being made right now to start bringing manufacturing back to the United States and the whole supply chain back to the United States. You know why? Because inside this bill, there was some great freaking policy. And they decided to incentivize domestic content. So content that is produced on shores and supply chains that are constructed on shores qualify for additional tax incentives. So right now, you have major investments coming. Hanwha Qcells just announced billions of dollars that they're investing in their manufacturing capacities in the United States. That's going to take the tax credit to 40%. When you start seeing all that domestic content, you're talking 40% tax credit if they qualify and fit and hit all those standards. And you know, these manufacturers are rebuilding their businesses right now to qualify for that. It's going to be a huge advantage to be able to say you have domestic content and you can get that extra 10%. So, I mean, when you think about all of this and you put it in context, like, holy shit, ladies and gentlemen, we are in front of a tidal wave, an absolutely massive amount of customers that are literally going to be beating down a path to our door. There's going to be, the risk is not customers. We are going to have so many customers. There's going to be customers freaking everywhere. You know, the rest of the industry is really going to need to bolster itself. We're going to need to have supply chain, you know, on a whole new level. You know, energy storage is scary as hell. There's such a lithium shortage. Like, the constraints are going to be around supply chain and labor markets, honestly. There's going to be so many customers. And as a sales professional, you should be just through the moon excited about that right now. Like, it's a once-in-a-lifetime kind of timing here. You don't get this opportunity as a sales professional to just all of a sudden be in an industry that has an unbelievable tidal wave of customers that are coming, that are going to be beating down your door, and the real constraints are going to be supply chain and labor to get all these projects done. It's not like that. It's extremely rare. So I feel like we got to take advantage of that. And here's how we are going to take advantage of that. You know, before I get to that section, I'm just going to hit upon this piece. You know, what does this mean, you know, for job creation and wealth creation? The new projections, so you can see old are green, new are yellow. You know, we're now talking about over 1 million U.S. solar and storage jobs. 1 million by 2030, just in solar and just in storage. This will be one of the largest industries in America. You know, by contrast, right now, fossil fuels, all oil, every single employee who works in the oil industry in America today, there's 550,000 employees. So you're talking about getting to 1 million. You're talking about double the amount of jobs that the oil industry provides for America today by 2030, just in solar and just in storage. This is going to be one of the biggest backbones of localized economies. If an economy has a healthy, vibrant solar industry, there's going to be a different kind of backbone in that local economy. I'm just going on the record and saying it. Where solar industries are strong, inside local communities where you have robust customers, great policies, and a strong solar industry, you are going to see strong communities and strong economies. This is such a massive job-creating industry that those two things are going to go hand in hand. Where you have a great, strong solar industry, you're going to see strong local economies. It's going to be like this bedrock, this foundational little piece of local economies because everybody needs energy everywhere. You know, you might not have a booming tech industry in your city or whatever it is, but you use energy. So where you have strong solar industry, you're going to have strong local economies. And really, you know, now it's up to us for how are we going to just build the most amazing lives and the most amazing platform and like capitalize on this amazing timing to absolutely no freaking end. And, you know, it's always like I debate like how much to like future pace versus like what's really relevant right now. Because I personally believe that we wouldn't need to focus on a damn thing other than solar and energy storage. And this company could be doing $5 billion a year in revenue, and every single one of us could be having amazing lives if we really wanted. And we don't need to do a damn other thing. That's how big solar and energy storage is. Just the core of how we're going to decentralize the grid and help build a new grid, just the core itself, it is so massive, we could be doing $5 billion in revenue just off the core. But there's more we could do, right? There's smarter ways to sort of optimize the grid and optimize our homes. And, you know, it's not just solar and storage, right? There's this ecosystem around solar and storage that is also a critical part of how we're going to live in the future. You know, it makes sense to be energy efficient. It makes sense to, you know, do all these things that are not going to be wasteful and going to save you money and ultimately are going to reduce the amount of energy we need, lower carbon outputs, and all of these things. And plus, we have this massive shift coming with electric vehicles. And it's really the EV revolution that is going to drive a lot of societal change. The grid is not prepared for EVs. This is the bottom freaking line. Our homes and our electrical systems and the grid today is not prepared for EVs. You know, so many main service panels out there, you know, okay, maybe you could fit one charger, right, or one car, but now you got to put two on, and you get into up, you know, the kind of amperage you need from that main service panel, and you're shot. You need a new main service panel. You know, we really are going to need to upgrade the electrical systems operating this country, you know, at a residential level and at a grid level. The transformers, you know, we had the co-founder of Enphase on at one of our previous conferences, and he was telling us about the capacity in all these transformers. And these transformers are 20, 30 years old. They don't have the capacity to handle multiple cars charging on the same block, you know, all pulling from one transformer at the same time. They don't have that capacity. So there's insane investment coming, you know, at the grid infrastructure level to really support a world that is EV powered. And make no mistake about it, the world's going to be EV powered. You know, the cost of gas is going to keep going up. That's like the nature of the beast here, okay? It's going to keep going up. You know, there's global tension. Global tensions are increasing. You know, there's dependencies on these foreign entities. And at the end of the day, you have this commodity. It's not a freaking technology. It doesn't get better every year, you know. So it's going to keep going up. That's going to drive people to EVs as the cost of electricity gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. The cost of EV maintenance and the cost of EV power, coupled with the fact that you now have 10 years of incentives to buy an electric vehicle or buy a used electric vehicle, and like the writing's on the wall. America's going electric. And really, it's going to be us, you know, the human beings out there having these conversations, educating people about the smart ways to use energy, the types of products they need to upgrade their home, to bring their home into the modern times, the options they have with electric vehicles and all of these things. And then our contractors and our fulfillment model coming in to do the upgrades, to build this new infrastructure that we need to power this world. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're building here. You know, this isn't just like oh, cool, how are you going to make some money with the work you do? Believe me, that's great. But when the men and women, who built the railroads and decided, you know what, we're going to make a new possibility for America. We're going to connect America. We're going to create pathways so people can travel in ways they never traveled before, and we're going to fundamentally change society. And they got out there and they built thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of miles of railroad, and they laid the damn tracks that connected this whole country, right? They built the infrastructure that made a new type of society possible. And I want you to take that on. That's what we're doing. Understand that that's who you are right now. That's who we need you to be. You have a sacred, important responsibility in helping to build the new world. And this isn't just some gimmick. This isn't just some job. This isn't just something you do. I want you to strive to be the best you can possibly be at this. You need to strive to be the professional that your customers and our society deserves, because we really need educators. We need people who are going to go out there and educate consumers and educate customers and sell the future infrastructure that our platform is then going to come and build and fulfill. And I'm telling you guys, we are at the beginning of where this thing could go, but we are laying the tracks for a new type of society and a new type of energy infrastructure. And the possibility for this company is not hundreds of millions, it is hundreds of billions. That's what the possibility is. Elon Musk said that his Tesla energy division will be worth more than his car division. That's what he said. Energy is the biggest industry in the world. It ain't hundreds of millions, it's hundreds of billions. And it's why I said we're standing at a very small peak today. And we should stay humble. We should stay curious. We should stay committed to constantly wanting to learn everything we can learn to be the best we can possibly be, because we're only scratching the smallest surface of the opportunity in front of us. And as we truly become great, as we truly execute, as we truly become world-class in every single thing we do in this business over the next decade, we will set ourselves up to become a company that I truly think is going to change the world and impact the future of humanity. And we're all going to leave our mark. That's the chance each and every one of us have, is to leave our mark. You are more valuable than you could ever realize. Without you, none of this happens. You are leaving your mark. You are helping to build this new future every single time you sign up a new customer, educate a new client, or refer a new professional to this platform. So with that, I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. I am so freaking excited about what we're building and even more excited about where we're going. And I'm going to turn it back over to the man, the myth, the legend, Bobby Smith, to take us home. Bless you, Bobby.
None of it happens without him. He inspires all of us every day. He raises our game every day, holds us to the higher standards. And the standards, just so you know, that Jonathan holds us to are not purely economic. We have performance metrics. We have to perform. But it's always about you. It's always about the customer experience. It's always about the legacy. It's always about the impact that we're going to have on the world. That's what these meetings are about. That's what the mountain is about tomorrow. That's what all the crazy shit that we do is about. It's always about raising the bar to give all of us the best chance we can to change the world. So in closing tonight, I really am speaking to two audiences here tonight. If you're a guest here tonight, if this was your first or second or third exposure to Powur, then simply put, you have a decision to make, whether you want to be a part of the future of renewable energy or not. And at the end of the day, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. It's a question of whether you're willing to try. I got in front of the cell phone industry many years ago without dating myself, and everybody thought I was crazy. They said that cell phones would never adapt. And then I got in front of this crazy thing called the internet, and they said the internet would never adapt. No one would use that. And here we are at the precipice of renewable energy, And there are people that might make some kind of crazy argument to you about solar or electric vehicles or whatever they think it may be, and they're just not right. You have a chance at a very special moment in time. It's almost impossible to find a company of an 8-year track record, a public benefit corporation, with the ratings that we have online, with the growth that we're experiencing, and truly no one knows who we are. That's where entrepreneurship lands. And if you look around you, if you look at the women of power, if you look at the men of power, the backgrounds, the cultures, the different shapes and sizes and colors from different markets and different upbringings, there's just no reason why you can't be successful here. If you've never sold anything in your life, that's okay, because we're not really selling anything. Solar is an IQ test. It's a value proposition that is clear and cannot be denied. And if you've never sold solar before, that's okay. Neither did I. I didn't know what solar was. I got hit up on Facebook 7 years ago, and again, I told you the story. So I didn't know what it was either. That's okay too, because someone is going to hold your hand, and they're going to guide you. And not only do we have extraordinary training and training events, but everything you need will be at the touch of a button. And these amazing people here will guide you through your experience in Powur. So I urge you, if you have not made that decision to join Powur, take 5 minutes tonight. Get with the person that brought you here and enroll and become a part of the future of renewable energy. Now, to our representatives out there, you know, one of the reasons we're growing so quickly, and one of the reasons that we are going to have almost 1,200 new sellers join our platform this month alone, is because everybody's really starting to get the rhythm of team building and introducing others to the platform and building your organization and building your income so you can have the lifestyle of a Charles Thompson or an Edgardo or a William or all these amazing people. And one of the key ingredients of our growth has been the Monday night events. They have turned into gatherings of 400 to 500 people every week. And Charles Thompson and I have mostly run those meetings. And we are now taking a step back. We want to encourage the leaders of Powur to step forward. And the first leader that's stepping forward is this Monday night is Jonathan Bernasso with two amazing guests in Cynthia and Jeff. And if you are building an organization, it's very simple. Your measurements is simple. How many guests will you have on that event for Jonathan Bernasso? He's one of the top solar professionals in the world. He's dating one of my favorite people in the world. Hi, Janice. He is living a life that most people dream of. And if you put people in front of Jonathan Bernasso and his guests on Monday night, then you will have new people in your organization. It really is that simple. And then if you're really understanding the rhythm of Powur and what's moving this phenomenal growth, it has been our event strategy, our incredible marketing team, everybody working behind the scenes. And that is, we had an amazing event called Powur Day. We did 2 of them. It changed the trajectory of our new sellers, where everybody was getting together in person in local markets. And we've decided to take that online because that's what we do. We continue to innovate. So on September 17th, in markets all over the United States, we will have online events for you to also build your organization and get trained with the local value proposition for solar in your market. So everything is about moving the momentum, moving your team, moving your guests to the next event. So if you are building an organization in Powur and you want to be a part of the future of renewable energy, it's very simple. Have the most guests you can there on Monday night and continue to move that activity and make September 17th one of the most special events in the history of our company. So for all of us, to all of you, we thank you. We're blessed to be associated with you. We are blessed to be in this mission together to change the world and build a better world for our children and for their children. So for everybody working tirelessly behind the scenes, for our entire executive team, for all the hundreds of staff members of Powur, and the thousands of representatives and sellers across the United States and around the world, we thank you, we appreciate, we love you. Good night, God bless. We'll see all of you on Monday night. Peace.